Let's say that you have a room filled with about 100 kids and you want to know what they would like to do once they grow up. I can tell you already that in the top 5 you'll certainly find these 3 professions: policeman, astronaut and fireman. Keeping that in mind, there's loads of games where you can play as a policeman. There's also tons of space games, but where are the games featuring firemen? I honestly couldn't name a single game in which you play a fireman until now. It's a game called Mr. Rescue and you have to, guess what, rescue people. This game was developed by only 2 guys, Danish duo Simon Larsen and Lucas Hansen. And on top of that, it's completely free, so you can download it off their website. I'll put a link below the video, be sure to check it out. There's no story in Mr. Rescue, but let's be honest, you don't really need one, do you? You're a fireman, you save people, it all seems kinda logical, and on top of that, this is supposed to be an arcade game, which means it's all about the high scores. When you start Mr. Rescue, you'll be able to choose between 3 different difficulties. I personally haven't been able to finish the easy level yet because this game is certainly not a walk in the park. But me being horrible at video games aside, when you start the game you'll find yourself in a burning building. The timer will count down and once it hits 0, it's time to start saving people. You do this by picking them up and throwing them out any window you can find. Let's just hope there are other firemen around that can catch the people you've been throwing to their doom. Of course, being a fireman you have your water supply with you to put out fire, but this is not the main goal of the game. You should only put out fires if they prevent you from rescuing someone. There's really no use in putting every fire out because you can't save the building and you're basically just wasting time. And trust me when I say, you really don't want to waste time in Mr. Rescue, because not only will the fire spread and eventually kill all the people you're supposed to save, there's also the problem of your fireman suit overheating. Besides the blue bar that is supposed to represent your water supply, which quickly regenerates, there's also the red bar next to it. If it's full, your suit is overheated and you will die. It's game over then. It starts off filling really slowly, but if you stand in a fire for about 4 seconds, it's already game over, so you really need to be very careful. Luckily though, there are several power-ups that can be found in the levels, and one of them is a coolant, which cools down your overheating suit. The other power-ups aren't quite as necessary to find, but they're very useful. You have things like extra heat resistance, a bigger water tank, and so on. Providing that you are able to make your way through every floor without dying to fire or letting too many civilians die, you'll finally reach the roof where you'll find a boss waiting for you. However, like I said, I wasn't able to finish the easy mode yet, so I don't know what happens after the boss. That's something for you to find out. The graphical style of Mr. Rescue is pretty simple, but it still looks like there's a lot of effort put into it. And the same goes for the soundtrack. It's a simple soundtrack, but it's very catchy. You should also be able to play this game with your keyboard or your controller, but I have to admit my controller didn't work that well. I could do anything except go up or down, which is needed to climb ladders and make it to the top of the building. However, since the keyboard controls work perfectly, it really wasn't all that big a deal. The controller not working is also the only bug I encountered while playing this game. Overall, Mr. Rescue is a fun game to spend a few hours on. The gameplay is smooth, fun and pretty addicting. It might not be the easiest of games, but it's pretty much a fair game. I'm usually not into high score games, but I really enjoyed this title. The game also ran perfectly fine. The only downside was that my controller didn't work, but seeing as the keyboard worked fine, there wasn't really any problem at all. So if you, after seeing this video, decide to give this game a try, let me know if you can beat my high score. It's on the screen right now. If you do manage to beat my high score, don't forget to take a screenshot and send it to me via Twitter. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to check out my channel for more.